Today, I'm back with episode 12 of Sneaks and Beats. So let's get into it. Welcome to my channel, No Fraud Productions. My name is E, and like I said in the intro, I'm back today with episode 12 of Sneaks and Beats. For those that's unfamiliar with it, that's when I go in my collection of sneakers, pull out a pair of sneakers, and make a beat to that sneaker, whether it's theme, colorway, year was released, any one of those things. So that's what I'm doing today. And before I get too deep into this video, I like to give a huge shout out to a real cool cat who I just came across his videos, and they all been fire. DJ K&S. I'll definitely leave his info in the description. I'll also post a picture of his page so you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, homie's page is super dope. He showed me love on his page. Like I said, I never met him, but I just admire his work from afar. He does beat making videos, and they're super fire. So if you get a chance, check it out. Like I said, this is episode 12 of Sneaks and Beats. So if you enjoy this content, if you like this content, consider subscribing to the channel. You know, do all the YouTube formalities, like, comment, subscribing, and all that yakety yak. Like I always like to say, it costs you nothing to pay me a little mind and hit that subscribe button. All right, so all that YouTube formalities and yakety yak out of the way, let's get into this content. All right, so today is going to be episode 12 of Sneaks and Beats. And for this episode here, I'm pulling out a collab shoe. So you see by the box, Team Patta. And it's also a Converse. So these are the Patta collab with Converse All-Star, the Chuck Taylors. These released December 2024, so not quite a year old yet, but it's just a sample that I found, made me use these shoes, so that's why I'm using them. Now these right here, fire, you know, the Patta logo written all around it in that Kelly green, reminds me of my Eagles. So even though they've been on a little 2-game skid right now, losing to the Giants, I don't know what's up with that, but hopefully they could turn that around real quick. But yeah, so these, now I don't know if I know I'm not the only one, unless you're like an older person, like 70, 80s, 80 years old. When I see these shoes, first thing to come to mind for me is West Coast, man. California, you know, seeing Snoop Dogg wear these. The Game wear them, just like these are like a staple in like California streetwear, you know. So when I saw these, I was like, you know, these are like California shoes to me. So for the theme of this video, I did find a sample that put me in a state of mind of like a West Coast sound. And also I used the MPC 1 Plus, and being that I use that, I use my West Coast Funk expansion pack too with this beat. So pretty much with this episode of Sneaks and Beats, I'm going to be making a West Coast sound beat. So since talking West Coast, you can't mention West Coast without thinking of these when it comes to footwear. So definitely, this was a dope shoe. I'm not going to get too deep into the shoe. Like I said, this came out this past December 2024. It's a collab with Patta. I did do a full review on my page, so I will leave that card up top so you can click on it if you want to get a further detail on the shoe. But for now, I'm just using these for Sneaks and Beats. And so yeah, I'm about to show you the record that I sampled to make this beat for this episode of Sneaks and Beats. So let's get into it. Okay, so for the album that I use to make this beat, that I sampled to make this beat, but before I get into that, to get ready for this episode of Sneaks and Beats, being that it was like a West Coast theme, I got my LA Dodgers hat on. Well, my LA hat, it's not for the Dodgers. I am a Mets fan. This one is for Nipsey. Rest in peace, Nipsey. has 8/15. That was Nipsey's birthday. But on my source wall, I got all my West Coast covers. So I got Suge, Pac, MC8, Snoop Dogg, Easy, Dre, Ice-T, Death Row, Cube, Eastsiders. So yeah, I got like all my West Coast album covers up on the wall just to get into the vibe of it. You'll see more of that once I put the beat with the shoes, so you'll see more of those. But for the record that I sampled to make this beat, it's actually a Spain artist. Her name is Anne Berlin, and I actually picked this record up in Spain. I'm gonna do a video of my vinyl haul from Spain. I was in Madrid and Barcelona, and I picked up quite a few vinyl. But the funny thing about this record here in particular, I actually bought this twice. I bought this in Madrid and also Barcelona. I didn't realize I had it already. I guess it was something about the album cover that drew me to it. But yeah, she's a Spain artist. I did a little research on her when after I sampled it, and I was going to use it for Sneaks and Beats. Yeah, she's a singer from Spain, actress as well. She did like some soap opera shows. I'm not sure if she did any films, but yeah, very popular artist. I did see a lot of her albums there. And like I said, I did get this one twice, didn't realize it. And as you can see, if the camera picks that up, I paid €3 for this. So fire record, a lot of dope samples. And the song that I actually sampled for this episode of Sneaks and Beats is called, I don't know if you're going to be able to read that, but it is called Espresso 2222. Dope sample. So let's check that out. And I'm going to speed this up a little bit so I don't get hit with the YouTube copyrights. So that was it. Of course, that was sped up. It doesn't sound like that normally, but I didn't want to get hit with any copyright strikes, so I sped it up. So that's the record right there that I used. The song that I use and the record that I use is, I think it says Anne in Brazil, and it's by an artist named Anne Berlin. Very popular Spanish artist from Spain, I think Madrid to be exact. And that's funny because I did pick up this record in Madrid, and I also copped it again, not realizing that I had copped it already in Barcelona. But so this is the record that I used to make I used the sample to make the beat for Sneaks and Beats, this episode 12. So let me show you how I arranged the beat in the next section. Okay, so I used that record, and this is the part I took for it. When I heard this part, it just made me feel like West Coast vibe, you know. I guess how they say cruising down the 405 or whatever other highways they rock to out there. But yeah, this was what it put me in that state of mind of West Coast when I heard that. So this is the part that I sampled of the song. This is the section right here that I sampled of the song. So that's it. That's the section right there that I sampled, and I spaced it out a little bit because I didn't want to get hit with any copyright strikes. So yeah, when I heard that, it just put me in a state of mind of like West Coast. I was like, that sounds like a nice, smooth West Coast vibe. And I chopped that up. That was like a 2-bar, 4-bar loop or whatever. I chopped that up. And this is how I played it back with the, once I chopped it up and I played it back like this. So that's how I played that part back. And then I do have another part of that sample that I played, kind of like an intro. So it goes like this. Just a 1-bar loop, repeating over and over again. So that's the sample part of the song that I used to make this beat. Now for the other sounds that I use for this, I did use the West Coast Funk expansion pack for MPCs. Yeah, West Coast Funk expansion pack that I use. So I just used some sounds for there to give it more of a West Coast feel to it. So that's the kick. I use that bell too. You always hear that in a lot of West Coast sounds. I use this kick and this snare. Well, it's kind of like a clap with a snare mix. Sounds dope to me. And the beat, the kick and snare is real simple. It's just a basic. That's it. Then I got the bell, like I said, on there. And I used a few other sounds to make it, to fill it up a little bit, give it that West Coast feel. I used that sound right there. Also use this sound in the beat as well. Like that lead synth. I use that. So I use those sounds right there to get the beat. And like I said, I thought of West Coast because of the shoes. So when I heard that sample originally, I was like, it's got like a West Coast vibe to it. And then I got the expansion pack and I just went through there and I found the sounds that I could add to it to give it that feel that I felt that it had, you know, the West Coast feel. So definitely let me know in the comment section if you agree with this beat feeling the West Coast feel, having a West Coast feel to it. But yeah, that's pretty much the sounds that I use. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is put the shoes up on display and play the completed beat with it. And let me know in the comment section if you are feeling this beat for one, and also does it have a West Coast feel to it? And if you do, if it does have a West Coast feel, hit me in the comment section. Let me know who you hear on this beat. It doesn't have to be a West Coast artist, anybody. Just hit me in the comment section. So without any further yapping or rambling, let's get into the beat with the kicks. Thanks for checking out my video. I hope you enjoyed this episode 12 of Sneaks and Beats. Now hit me in the comment section. Let me know, did this beat put you in the state of mind of West Coast? Also, let me know in the comment section who you can hear rapping on this beat. Even if it's not a West Coast artist, if it's whoever it is, just let me know in the comment section. And if you did enjoy this content, you know, do the YouTube formalities, like, commenting, and subscribing to the channel, No Fraud Productions. My name is E, and I appreciate everyone for watching my videos, clicking on it, showing me love, liking, commenting. I appreciate all that. And like I always like to sign out on the end of my Sneaks and Beats videos, just chill to the next episode. Peace.